Wow, what a night that was. Oh my gosh. I was part of the heavenly host that told the shepherds about the birth of Jesus. Now, you can't get better than that. What an honor. Oh my gosh, what a privilege. I don't know what I did to make God so happy with me, but man, I've got to find a way to do that again so I get jobs like that. What have you been up to, Gabriel?
A big deal, Michael. All you got to do is talk to some stinky shepherds. I got to give Mary herself the big news. Picture it. Mary, all alone, dreaming about what the next year will bring, and then I show up and tell her the best news of her life. She's gonna be a mom. What could be better than that?
Well, I can think of a few things. I'm sure that your news wasn't all that appreciated by Mary's community. I mean, come on, an unwed woman, pregnant, you could have gotten her stoned. A lot of good you are as an angel.
Hey, I was just delivering the message God gave me to deliver. I wasn't the one who came up with the plan. And yes, she did seem somewhat concerned, but eventually she came around to the idea and gave her consent. And what about you, scaring those poor shepherds half to death with you and your choruses wailing? I'm surprised they heard a word you said and actually listened at all.
But they did, didn't they? They went into Bethlehem and they saw the Christ child, and then they went out to share the good news with everyone they met. Now, that in my book is a success. And kind of smart thinking, too. Get other people to do the work for you.
Oh, I do have to give you credit for that. I guess you did do a good job.
Well, thank you.
I guess I guess I was just jealous. When people think about angels, they think about you and the pomp and circumstance, the bright lights and singing. They never think about what it takes for us to actually do our jobs.
Well, I can understand that. There's the planning and the strategizing, and then just the courage it takes to go out into the world that really isn't expecting us or our message, and to show up unexpectedly to proclaim the good news of God. Oh my goodness. I guess I was probably being a bit hard on you. You did a good job too. That couldn't have been easy. It couldn't have been an easy assignment. My goodness, going to Mary to turn her world like just upside down.
Yeah, sometimes I get thinking about how hard our job is. But
Yeah.
then I realize that as messengers of God, that's all we have to do. It must be so much harder for the humans. They have to look and see and listen and hear with not just their eyes and ears, but also with their hearts and minds to figure out what God wants them to do and then go do it. And when we show up, people usually listen. When they go out into the world, they don't always have it so easy.
You know what? That's really true. It took a lot of courage for Mary to do what she did and to bring new life into this world, and not just any new life. She brought in the Son of God. That's pretty incredible. And I imagine there will be many hard days ahead for her and her child as he grows up. But, she had the nerve to say yes to God's dream of justice and love and peace for humanity and to play her part in it. She is a very brave and prophetic woman, this Mary of ours.
And what about your shepherds, though? They could have stayed in their field where it was relatively safe and the known dangers were only wolves and bandits. But instead, they went to Bethlehem because you told them to. And they're never going to be the same after that encounter with the baby Jesus. They just had to go running out into the town to tell everyone about what had happened, even though it was the middle of the night and people probably weren't happy to be woken up by those noisy shepherds. And who would have believed them anyway? Can you imagine their story? An angel chorus, a baby in a stable? What a story. The shepherds you sang to were pretty brave themselves.
You know what? Now that you say that, I think that we are all pretty impressive that day, right? Because we listened to the good news that God wanted us to share, and then we did it and they did it. Do you think the humans will tell our stories in the years to come?
I have no doubt about it. This is a story that's going to go down in history, and a child that's going to change the world. And we all got a part to play in sharing that. I think that's something worth celebrating. Do you want to go get some ice cream to celebrate? I think I heard the cafeteria is serving heavenly hash.
Oh man, that sounds great. How about I just meet you there?
Sounds great.